Thursday morning. You know what that means. And he's on the microphone with Brian and Gene. The morning sickness show is where I want to be. Strumming my guitar, soft and gently. Where bacon rules all, and Bloody Marys are tall, and Pearl Street beers chase them all. I'm here to sing to you, tell you have a great day, and don't forget to come rock out with Tug Sunday.
Andy Hughes of Tug on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Good morning. Did we make it? Did we survive? I think we did, right? Man, that was wild. Wild stuff. The sirens going off, the rain coming down, the wind picking up. It just, wild scene yesterday. Lots of photos and videos all over social media from the damage and the flooding. If you've got any and you want to send them to us, rockmornings.com. Please do. Would love to see what happened in your neck of the woods. Saw some spouts down by Goose Island. Heard about a touchdown out in Berry Mills. Scary stuff for a couple of hours yesterday afternoon. More rain and showers and thunderstorms in the forecast today before finally clearing up tomorrow and then warming up on Saturday. Looks like 81 tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds, and then Saturday up near 90 with some clouds in the forecast. Hypothetical Thursday, we'll get to our questions for one another a bit later on. Office Cora will join us to talk about what she's up to this weekend in the 715. And, of course, if you want to get in touch with us, find us online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. She is on TV again this morning, so you're stuck with me for a little bit before Gene shows up sometime in the next hour or so. Tornado sirens yesterday. 7 tornadoes developing out of a storm system that also produced, of course, a very large amount of rain in the Cooley region. National Weather Service, local storm reports say the first report came in at 5:22 in Fillmore County, near the Houston-Fillmore County line. About a half hour later, a tornado on the ground near Zumbro Falls in Wabasha. The next report had a tornado on the ground in Hoka, and kind of kept continuing throughout the rest of the evening. We actually went in our basement for a little while. We never lost power, though. I was kind of surprised by that. Did see a couple of swirling clouds. Made a phone call to some people we know in the Berry Mills area to make sure they were okay. Never lost power, though. At least not at our house. Lots of flooding left over. And again, if you want to share pictures of what happened in your area, head to rockmornings.com. Send us pictures and video. You can also do it through the app, whether it's the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app. There should be a submit button on the bottom when you open up the main screen on your app, and you can send in photos and videos that way. But yeah, Stormageddon yesterday. Looks like more rain in the forecast today. Not as heavy, not as bad. Wisconsin Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation and the Polk County District Attorney Jeffrey Kemp announced yesterday that a former Polk County doctor has been charged with child enticement. 71-year-old Kenneth Gailrick has been charged with 3 counts of child enticement, allegedly occurring between 1995 and 2003. In Polk County, he was arrested on Wednesday at his residence. The criminal complaint filed by the Polk County District Attorney's Office alleges that Gailrick intended to cause 2 children to expose a sex organ to him. The defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But a former Polk County doctor named Kenneth Gailrick, has now been arrested and charged. A man also charged in Jackson County with connections to wildfires there has been sentenced. Online court records show that 46-year-old Daniel Johnson of Black River Falls Got 4.5 years in prison, plus another 4.5 years of extended supervision. Johnson found guilty on 3 counts of intentionally setting fire to another's land. August 17, 2023, he was arrested in connection with multiple wildfires on county and private land in central Jackson County. Investigators revealing more than 50 wildfires in that area are believed to be related and deliberately set since April of 2023. And this guy now going to jail for 4.5 years, getting another 4.5 on extended supervision. 2 Eau Claire neighbors facing multiple felony charges for alleged sexual assault of children. James Barbie, 54, Robert Karstensen, 82, both accused of abusing neighborhood children over the course of several years. The investigation began in May of 2025 when a victim disclosed abuse to a mandated reporter. The 2 men who lived on the same Eau Claire street have now been charged with multiple counts of child sexual assault involving several young victims from the neighborhood. James Barbie facing 7 felony charges, including first-degree sexual assault of a child under 12 and incest. His neighbor, Robert Karstensen, facing 11 charges for allegedly abusing multiple children between 2014 and 2022. Court documents show the alleged abuse involved at least 5 child victims who were neighbors and friends, the children frequently playing at both of the men's properties where the assaults allegedly occurred in the homes, an RV, and other outbuildings. During police interviews, both men admitting to inappropriate contact with children. Ugh, disgusting. Last but not least, the Liver King. I don't know if you saw the new Trainwreck episode on Netflix about the Liver King or if you followed his story, but it just keeps getting weirder and weirder every day. The Liver King making a video challenging Joe Rogan to a fight. Now, it's kind of hard to hear what he's saying because he's not being very loud and there's some goofy music in the background.
My name's Liver King, man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah. I have 0 training in jiu-jitsu. You're a black belt. You should dismantle me. But I'm picking a fight with you. Your rules, whatever you want me to weigh, I'll weigh it. I weighed 190 this morning. I'll come to you whenever you're ready.
So, in standard Liver King fashion, he's shirtless. He's got his big helmet, his furry helmet on. He's holding a couple of golden guns, and he's swirling around and greasy and looks drunk or high and making all sorts of weird comments about Joe Rogan and cutting weight. And this guy posted a video discussing his arrest after he got out because he got arrested for this whole thing. Yeah, so Brian, the Liver King Johnson, released from jail in Austin and then uploaded new videos that once again seemingly reveal his intent to fight Joe Rogan. He was arrested earlier this week for making a terroristic threat following 2 days of bizarre videos where he repeatedly said that he wanted to engage in fisticuffs with Joe Rogan. The latest video, Johnson discussing his arrest, does not say Rogan's name outright, but does reference the podcaster's comedy Mothership Club to make it clear who he's talking about. In other videos, he refers to someone whose name rhymes with Rogan or even Seth Rogen, saying finally that the videos will never stop. Joe Rogan is not going to lower himself to that level and then dominate you and make you go to sleep, because that's exactly what had happened. Just because you got a bunch of muscles, dude, and you live the ancestral way doesn't mean that you've got a chance in hell of beating Joe Rogan in a fight. I'd put it all on Joe Rogan. I'd bet my house, my truck, my motorcycle, I'd bet it all on Joe Rogan. He would wipe the floor with you. This guy obviously is swirling. Since the Netflix thing came out, it looks like it negatively impact his mental health, and he might need to talk to somebody. A lot of rambling, not a lot of sense being made. Liver King implying that the terroristic threat charge was reduced. Either way, like I said, I don't see Joe Rogan lowering himself to get into a fight with the Liver King, no matter how much money's on the line. Sports coming up in a bit. Some Breaking Benjamin as well. Right now, it is the funeral portrait.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Breaking Benjamin was so cold on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The thriller at Miller started out pretty well in the first inning, but then Skeens kind of fell apart. Mizorowski continued to look good, and the Brewers eventually got the 4-2 win. Third major league start for Jacob Mizorowski. He threw 5 shutout innings, and the Brewers earned a 4-2 win against the Pirates. And Paul Skeens yesterday.
And Jared Triolo is the last chance for the Pirates. Triolo to right for Sal Frelick, and that is your ball game. 4-2 the final in round 1 of Miz v. Skeens goes to the Miz.
Brew Crew off today. They've won 6 of their last 7 games. They'll be at home against the Rockies tomorrow night at 7:10 for the first of 3 against Colorado. That should be a sweep. The Rockies, the worst team in Major League Baseball. NBA draft last night.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
No big surprise there as the Mavericks took forward Cooper Flagg with the first pick. He said, "I'm feeling amazing. It's a dream come true. I wouldn't want to share it with anybody else," obviously referring to his family. Round 2 of the NBA draft starts tonight at 7 on ESPN. The one kid who got drafted by the Raptors dropping the F-bomb there as he got up from the table obviously did not want to go to Toronto. The NHL and the Players Association negotiating a potential increase from 82 games in a regular season to 84 games in a regular season during their collective bargaining agreement talks. An increase over the current 82-game schedule has been discussed internally by the NHL over the last couple of years. The league has been considering scheduling alternatives after some franchises complained about an imbalanced number of division games against their rivals, contests that typically draw larger crowds and bigger TV audiences. Elsewhere in the NHL, the Oilers have now traded winger Evander Kane to the Vancouver Canucks, clearing some cap space ahead of free agency next month. Evander Kane, 33 years old, has 1 more year in his 4-year contract that Vancouver's picking up. And the Hockey Hall of Fame also announcing its 8-member class of 2025 includes first-year eligible players Zdeno Chara, Joe Thornton, and Duncan Keefe. And the end of a lengthy wait for former NHL star Alexander McGillney. They will be joined by gold medal winning women's players Jennifer Botterill of Canada and Brianna Decker of the United States. So congratulations to those NHL Hall of Famers getting in this year. And 22-year-old fan banned indefinitely from all Major League Baseball ballparks after yelling something about Arizona Diamondbacks second baseman Ketel Marte's late mother during a game on Tuesday night against the White Sox. Marte, visibly brought to tears by the incident, which occurred while he was at bat in the 7th inning. So he's close enough to the stands that some scumbag yelled out some sort of disparaging remark about his mother, who had died in a car accident in the Dominican Republic back in 2017. So this guy was holding on to this for 8 years just so he could yell it at this dude when he comes up to bat. Marte, of course, visibly upset. A lot of support from his coaches and teammates, team personnel, including the manager, Torey Lovullo, heard the comment, asked for the fan to be ejected. They were. The Major League Baseball team found out who this guy was and has now banned him indefinitely. According to a source familiar with the situation, the fan was remorseful for his actions, admitting to his inappropriate comments. Well, too late now, bro. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You're a dick, and you're never coming to a baseball game again. How about them apples? Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Hypothetical Thursday. Coming up just after 7 o'clock, we'll talk to Office Cora after 8. Find out what she's up to this weekend in the 715. I saw her a couple of times last weekend when we were at Summer Jam. sweating my brains out. I legit thought I had a chance to pass out on Saturday. It was so hot. Of course, then I loaded up on fried shrimp and cheese stuffed tortellinis and bacon mac and cheese. It's hard not to when the food's so damn good. You know what I'm saying? Music in a bit from Shinedown, some Poppy as well, and rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
When your guests hit the town and it's almost shut down, that's Jeff Bezos.
That's Jeff Bezos.
When the gifts have arrived all from Amazon Prime, that's Jeff Bezos.
That's Jeff Bezos.
Water taxis booked, Venice on the hook, Ivanka and the Kush. All the billionaires are coming.
They're all coming.
It would not all take place if his wife was still in space. That's Jeff Bezos.
Apparently, people in Venice are pissed about Bezos getting married to his astronaut wife. I use that term loosely. But people in Venice, Italy, upset about Jeff Bezos' wedding with Lauren Sanchez, which is apparently happening this weekend. And it's going to mess things up for locals and tourists. Officials are denying reports that hotel rooms, water taxis, and gondolas are completely reserved. That seems extreme, but I don't know. When you're one of the richest people in the world, you can basically just go to Venice and rent the entire city, right? And say, look, I got a wedding. I got a bunch of friends and people coming in, and I don't want regular people using up all my gondolas. Jeff Bezos getting married to an astronaut, Lauren Sanchez. Meanwhile, on the other side of that coin, apparently the other astronaut, Katy Perry, and her husband are splitting up, Orlando Bloom. I don't know if the astronaut thing and kissing the ground was the final straw that broke the camel's back or whatever, but apparently they're getting divorced. So, yeah, bummer. You hate to see it. Television tonight, the second round of the 2025 NBA draft is at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Over on Peacock today, the series premiere of Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together. Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together. Series premiere today on Peacock.
In the beginning, we were still finding where we were going.
We were together off and on for 11 years before the final call.
I hated her.
I hated him. I didn't think that we would get back together.
She got me, y'all.
He wanted to get got. KK is my first child, so I'm a little more frantic.
My parenting style, just don't burn down the house.
Wake your ass up, and daddy. Stop. Your daddy is crazy. It says we have grown. We're adults.
But we're still trying to have fun.
Nelly and Ashanti, We Belong Together. Series premiere on Peacock today. You've also got Fallon with Jeremy Allen White from The Bear as his guest this evening. New season of that started yesterday. Kimmel's new tonight with guest host Diego Luna from Andor. Diego's going to have Emma Stone, Heidi Klum, and Dolores Huerta, the co-founder of the National Farm Workers Association, as his guests. Seth Meyers new with Mariska Hargitay, Jacob Saboroff from MSNBC, and comedian Mike Drucker. That's what's on the boob tube tonight. Also, not sure if you saw this, but the OG Blues Clues host, Steve Burns, right? Kind of disappeared for a while, came back during the pandemic. People were very excited about that. And now he's working on a new podcast. It's going to premiere this fall. It's called Alive, and it's for adults who grew up watching Blues Clues with the OG host, Steve Burns. And he says it'll focus on what it means to stay human in a complicated world.
It's basically a societal requirement at this point that everyone has a podcast. So why don't we have one? You and I. It could basically be what we've always done. You and I have always been about this deep and curious investigation of our world in search of these little bits of information that lead to greater understanding. Sounds like a podcast to me. I mean, it used to be about shapes and colors and letters and numbers and vegetables and stuff, but now it could really be about everything that makes it so weird and wonderful to be alive. I'm excited. I am. I'm excited.
Steve Burns, the OG host of Blues Clues, launching a podcast this fall called Alive. Put out a little YouTube video to describe what it's about. And again, starts sometime this fall. Probably going to be wherever you get podcasts from. We watched the new episode of Trainwreck yesterday, the Poop Cruise. You might remember that one from, was it like a decade ago, about somewhere around there, 2012, 13. And the cruise ship that was in the Gulf of the USA, Gulf of Mexico, whichever one you prefer. And then on its way back to America, it got stuck. There was a fire, and it basically shut down everything on the ship, including the power, the air conditioning, the toilets. Everything started to overflow. They made the big bad decision to reopen the bar, and just all hell broke loose. Yeah, not sure if you remember that story, but it's only an hour long. It feels, it's sort of a synopsis of what happened as opposed to a deep dive into what really went wrong. But it's called Trainwreck Poop Cruise. New episode of that on Netflix. Wife and I watched that last night while the sirens were going off. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Jean. She should be back here in the studio shortly. She was doing another spot on television this morning to talk about the Big River Rally, which begins tomorrow afternoon. If you want info on the Big River Rally, you can download the 95.7 The Rock app. You can also download the 92.9 The X app, and you'll see it right there as you open up the app. Big River Rally. Also on the bottom of the app, when you open up either the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app, you'll see that there is a tab. One says Home, then there's Open Mic. There's also a Win Stuff tab. You can click those, and the Win Stuff obviously takes you to the contest page where you can sign up for all sorts of different things. Open Mic allows you to send us messages, and we get them right here in the studio, whatever you want. Not quite sure what happened there, but I was playing the audio. Not sure. All right, well, doesn't want to play.
Can you play Static X for me to get the day going, please? Thank you.
I can actually play Static X to get the day going.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Not bad wolves, good dogs. They're all good, right?
Oh, well, almost all.
These dogs are good. That's why they put in a free dog library at a beach in Maine. You might have seen one of these things before. The free dog library does not have any books. It's got sticks and tennis balls that you can borrow while you're on the beach playing with your dog. Maybe you forgot.
Oh, like a checkout system kind of thing for toys or balls? That would be good, because I've forgotten many times.
And if your dog falls in love with a certain stick or a certain ball, you're more than welcome to take it home with you. You don't have to put it back.
He loves it. He just absolutely loves it. It just makes them a happier dog.
It feels awesome. They can take them home. They don't need to be returned. On an average day, there's a lot of dogs here. It's a great feeling that I put something together and it's getting used.
Sandy Point Beach in the town of Stockton Springs, Maine, installing a free dog library that gives free sticks and balls so the dogs can have a little fun while they're at the beach. Lori Gray says you bring the dogs down here and they're playing with other dogs and they're playing with sticks, the balls, it just makes them a happier dog. Her dog is a rescue and a new addition to the family. Taking him to the beach gives him an outlet to socialize and play with other dogs.
That's fun. Good idea. Came from the heart.
George Russell, the public works director for the town of Stockton Springs in Maine, said that he thought it would be a good idea to create this so dogs can stay entertained when they visit.
Yeah.
It's been a week since the dog library opened. Big draw already for dog owners. On average, there's a lot of dogs here. It's a great feeling that I put something together and it's getting used. Hopes that other towns create their own dog library.
A dog rinse-off station would be good.
I tell you what, we didn't use it because we weren't with our dogs, but they have a built-in shower thing down by where our hotel was in Altoona, over by the Staybridge Inn and Suites. And
I've seen it.
Yeah, so it looks like a half of a container. You know what I mean? Like one of those
shipping
containers, right? And it looks like they cut it in half, and then they added some glass and put in all the machinery and stuff. So you must have to pay to go into this thing.
Okay.
And then it must dispense water and soap and all the things you need for your dog to bathe them off, because there's a park and an amphitheater down there, and there's a river walk and all that stuff. And I'm guessing there's some mud and some opportunities for the dogs to maybe get a little messy. And so maybe afterwards, before you get them back in your vehicle, you can take them over to that dog wash station and get them all cleaned up. Make them nice and spiffy. So, yeah, pretty cool. Saw that.
I agree. A library, great idea. Free balls. I can't tell you how many times we've not intended to take her somewhere, because then I would remember, but just like happened to be somewhere where there was, and we would love to have a ball or a stick to throw, and we're like, we didn't plan ahead.
And it happened again. A woman in Texas losing her wedding ring last Friday, didn't think she'd get it back.
How?
It was in a lake.
Oof. Yeah.
All she knew was that it was somewhere in an area that was 5,000 square feet.
It's in this general kind of over here, but not over.
Apparently the ring is a family heirloom, dates all the way back to 1910.
Right, it's grandma's or something.
And even though she was unable to find it, a diver, one lucky guy, decided to make it his mission to find this ring and spent 2 days looking for it in this lake in Texas before he did find it. The diver discovering a diamond wedding ring lost in Possum Kingdom Lake, 1910 heirloom found by diver Ryan Prigmore. The owner, heartbroken after losing it, expressing immense relief and gratitude for its return.
I'm sure. I am positive. So it was like just nestled on the bottom somewhere, and he happened to be diving and saw it?
Yeah, Jacqueline Page, visiting North Texas with her son's baseball team, went to Sandy Beach area of Possum Kingdom at one point, realized her wedding ring had come off and fell into the lake. The baseball team, parents and grandparents all searching the area, got a bunch of people there. Couldn't find it. She said, I was heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Blue Diver Search and Recovery was called in to join the search, and diver Ryan Prigmore was asked to search a 100-foot by 50-foot area. Said the search was tough, with high winds making the water rough, and after a few hours he called it quits, but promised to come back. And then on Monday, when the weather was a bit calmer and the water was a little bit still, he returned and found the missing ring. I was getting thrashed by the waves, but I gave my word that I would be back and keep trying, and that's exactly what he did.
Good job, sir.
Very nice. Jean, obviously, back in the studio after her stint on the TV program this morning, number 3.
2.
I thought yesterday you went.
Remember? They weren't.
Oh, okay.
This was the reschedule. Reschedule of that.
I didn't know. Gotcha. All right, so Gene's back, and Hypothetical Thursday gets started in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Let's eat an onion. I would never choose to eat it as an apple, but it's an option. Let's make Van's onion again. Lemon, olive oil, some flaky salt, pepper, babe, some everything but the bagel seasoning, gorge, it's giving locks, capers, babe. Someone in my comments said that these taste the way cigarettes smell. I'm gonna do a little balsamic glaze. Gorge. She's stunning. Let's give it a taste. You know you want to.
I want you to get into a car accident and never speak again.
Stop that. Don't do that. I'm eating a whole onion? Is that what I'm doing here? I don't understand what's happening.
Who talks like that?
A raw onion? Like an apple? Is that?
Did you hear the way she spoke?
I thought this was a thing a couple years ago where you eat them like an apple. And I was like, no thanks. God, I do love onions.
We really are getting stupider. We're just a dumb species. We're allowing idiots to talk like that to get shine on the internet because they're eating onions. People on TikTok, the new trend is apparently eating raw onions. Like,
I thought this was a thing.
Gorge, put some dye. You know, you want to eat
I thought this was a thing a couple years ago already.
I don't know.
With the full onion or the raw onion.
Some people are apparently biting into it like an apple.
Okay, well, good for you.
Which seems like more of a challenge. Some people are
like with the skin on it?
Doing something a little different, a little more culinary involved. Slice a red onion horizontally. You have a flat piece, and you add some lemon juice on top. Drizzle olive oil over it. Then add some salt, pepper, and various spices,
Okay.
like
All
dill
right, fine.
or everything but the bagel seasoning. Finish it off with some capers, balsamic, and jalapenos. That's not eating raw onions.
I was just going to say, that's fine. Okay, sounds delicious.
That's making some kind of vegetable salad on a cracker. I don't know what that is. If you want to eat a raw onion, then be a man and eat it like a man.
And I do like
peel the outer edge and then bite into it like an apple. And don't say gorge either, unless you're talking about an actual gorge. Gorge. God.
That sounds like
I thought we were getting rid of TikTok. When is Trump going to do something?
I hope not.
They say if you're worried about the bite of a raw onion, try soaking it in ice water first.
Well, I'm not worried about it because I'm not going to do that.
And apparently there's some catfighting going on with the TikTokers.
Okay. I do like onions in all sorts of ways.
Who invented the concept of eating raw onions.
See, I thought we talked about
Yeah, because no one in the history of
ago.
mankind besides TikTokers have
Just
figured out that
all
you
of
can
a
just
sudden
eat raw onion.
you can eat it.
You stupid bitch.
Lots of benefits from onions, though. They're healthy.
That would be the first thing I would do in a zombie apocalypse. I'm changing my vote. I'm changing my vote, Gene. I'm no longer going to pit maneuver people into the ditch with
You're
my
not?
truck. I'm going after TikTokers who
Okay.
say, gorge. Can't do it.
Low calories, I think, but really good for you.
Gorge.
But I'm also not peeling it and eating it like an apple.
Dude, you know what I like? Not so much I don't eat the raw onion, like go home and you know what I'm hankering for is a big slice of onion.
But you'll have raw onion
Put raw
on
onion
things.
on a sandwich or a burger or something. Hell yeah. All about it. Love that.
Yeah, me too.
Pungent.
And
like 'em
in every other
sauteed.
way. Like French onion soup is one of my favorites.
Give me all
and
the
then-
onions.
Yeah. My mother-in-law used to make this sweet onion souffle. So basically it was just onions cooked in a pastry thing. And it was, dude, I know. It was
I
some
could
cheese
literally-
and stuff. So it was kind of like an onion quiche, but not really.
I could probably eat just sauteed mushrooms and onions out of a bowl, like a soup or a chili or something. I'd be happy with that. I'm fine.
Just keep eating.
Yeah. I mean, all the different mushroom varieties and onion varieties. Hell yeah, give me that. Gorge.
But I'm not eating it like an apple.
God. Hypothetical Thursday. My question first for Jean.
Oh, brother.
Who, according to my sources at WKBT, was unprepared this morning for her hypothetical questions.
Yeah, I was.
If you came with a warning label, what would that label be? Label baby. You personally. Gene?
Well, I don't know if I know for the general public, but I know for my husband that I wish.
The person who knows you best?
I think he would. I think he would say something about, because I think quite often in couples there's a difference, right? There's a quick to wake
Really?
and do things.
There's a difference between two people in a relationship?
They're core things like this, right? There's one who's quick to wake, generally speaking, and will start talking or get at things or whatever. And then there's one that takes
I know which one you are.
right. And then there's the other one, like my husband, who takes a while, would prefer an hour and a half on the weekend to
Quiet? You mean peace and quiet?
And read an article
Of no Gene?
and with the cop and read the thing and do the stuff and doesn't want to talk about what we're doing for the day or
immediately
starts cleaning the refrigerator is making blueberry muffins 15 minutes after she and I think he would wish he would have had a warning label about that. going into this. Like too much mornings. Too much.
Too much in the morning? That would be the warning label?
Yeah, too much in the morning.
Too much in the morning?
Hi. Good morning.
Oh.
Want to talk? How'd you sleep? What's going on? What are you going to do? What's going on? You want to get up? Let's do this? Oh, my gosh. Look at the fridge. Let's start to clean this up.
I'm that way once I get going. But on the weekends, I do enjoy sitting down in the quiet house with the dog, the wife's still asleep, cup of coffee, get some work done on the computer. And then when she gets up and I'm sort of done with whatever I was doing, then I get up and I'm not like aggressively trying to coerce her into doing things. I'm fine if she sits there and relaxes. I am now ready to start doing what I want to do, which is, laundry or this, that, the other thing.
Well, and he generally sleeps in a little bit longer than I do, so I've already gotten up and walked the dogs, made the coffee, and done the thing. So by the time, then it's like, hi, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, you've been waiting. You're chomping at the bit. Warning label, chomps at the bit.
I don't know.
Is that your warning label?
I don't know.
Chomps at the bit?
It's a lot. You're a lot
too much in the morning.
Too much in the morning.
If you had a warning label.
I think it would be too much in the morning for him, at least. I know that's what he'd say.
Yeah.
That or the, hey, I was thinking.
Oh, the wife suggestion.
Yeah,
the honey.
Hey, honey,
I had an idea.
I have an idea. That might be
the idea
actually,
lady,
because that's the one that's all the time and omnipresent. And I'm sure every time I say it, he's like, "Oh,
there's never a satisfaction.
Man,
there's never satisfaction.
No,
it's just always an empty cup that needs to be filled.
No, I think that he would agree. I know he would. That oftentimes the conclusion of that idea turned out to be fun or better our life or made things better or whatever, but it's the getting from there to here. And then the other times where it's just like, oh my God. It might be that, actually. It might be, hey, hon, I have an idea, or I was thinking. That might be actually what
I said label,
say.
not labels.
Well,
you got any more
now that I thought
add?
about it, I thought about it, I'm sure, because him and my son, it's a joke. Like, oh God, here she comes again with the idea.
I'll high five him next time I see him, because as soon as you start going over there, I leave the building. I want nothing to do with it.
Hey, I had an idea, but like I said, he would say that most often that's been those things are good. It's just
I think my warning label would be always responds with anger first. I got to get that emotion out. And then once I can circle around to reality.
Yeah.
Like I have to yell and scream and kick and have a tantrum a little bit, and then eventually
has small temper tantrums.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if it's a temper tantrum. It just like I will respond with anger immediately, and then eventually I'll come back around to it.
So that would be the warning label, like in little print.
Yeah.
Responds with anger first. I wouldn't, but that's not always true for you. It could be, and so I see where that's a warning label, right? Like, this could start a fire. This appliance could blah, 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 burst into flames. Yeah. It could.
Hypothetical Thursday, my question for Gene. If you required a warning label, what would it be?
Probably what it would be. I have an idea.
It's the be careful of the I have an idea.
I was thinking. Hey, babe, I was thinking.
Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, and Gene has an idea.
Too many, probably, is what he'd say. Too many.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
What is it this time? Cabinets, bathrooms, floors,
no, it's not always home improvement things. Sometimes it's like, let's get another dog. Or, I joke, but.
Limits. Gene, limits.
Planning family vacation. Like, those are it's just whatever. It's hey, I was thinking we should go to whatever.
All right.
We should do this. We should.
Gene's question for me coming up.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah, no.
I got an idea.
I'm leaving at 9.
I have an idea. Want to talk about it?
Have fun with that. I will be leaving at 9, so I don't have to participate in any of your crazy ideas, and we'll get to sports after Hollywood Undead.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
The latest from Hollywood Undead, it is Hollywood Forever. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Some more rain later today.
Later, like late this afternoon, I understand.
With a high of 80.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, a break this weekend with a high of 81 on Friday, mix of sun and clouds, and then up near Friday. 90 on Saturday with some clouds in the forecast. And then look out on Sunday, more showers and thunderstorms possible. Lacrosse area day at Miller Park ended up in a big win for the Brew Crew, 4-2 over the Pirates. The
Love that.
thriller at Miller, not as good as we had hoped.
Oh, the dueling pitcher battle thing?
Skeens struggled in, I think it was the second inning, and got, gave up a couple of runs and didn't have a stellar start. Mizorowski was great. Threw 5 shutout innings. The Brewers getting the 4-2 win. They've won 6 out of their last 7. They're off today. They're at home against the Rockies tomorrow night at 7:10 for the first of 3 against Colorado, which should be a sweep because the Rockies are by far the worst team in Major League Baseball. NBA draft kicking off last night, and the Dallas Mavericks, as expected, taking Cooper Flagg, number 1. Second round of the NBA draft is at 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Spain's High Court yesterday upholding a verdict that found former Soccer Federation President Luis Rubiales guilty of sexual assault for an unsolicited kiss on the lips of national team player Jenny Hermosa at the 2023 World Cup in Sydney. Might remember that, right? Mm-hmm. They won the World Cup.
Yes,
and
I sure do.
Gives her a kiss on the lips.
Yeah. And then I thought he was disbanded from being a coach.
Well, he
or
was appealing. Basically, the court rejected multiple appeals against the conviction, reaffirming Rubiales kissed Hermosa without her consent during the medal ceremony after Spain's women had won the trophy.
Rubiales sure looked like it.
He was fined over $10,000, 10,000 euros, which is about $11,000 American dollars. And acquitted of coercion charges alongside 3 co-defendants. Prosecutors had sought 2.5-year prison sentence and called for a retrial, both of which were dismissed. Larry McClure, a Southwest Virginia businessman who won 3 Daytona 500s as the co-owner of a highly successful NASCAR Cup Series team in the 90s, died yesterday at Johnston Memorial Hospital in Virginia. He was 81. He was the co-owner of Morgan McClure Motorsports alongside business partners Tim Morgan and Jerry McClure. Entered NASCAR in 1983 after purchasing the equipment of longtime independent driver G.C. Spencer. The team would establish themselves over the next few seasons, going through multiple drivers, including a very young Mark Martin, before gaining their identity when they gained sponsorship from the Eastman Kodak Company back in 1986. You might remember the very famous Kodak car.
Yep.
And sure as owners, they got 3 Daytona 500s under their belt, so not too shabby. And Baltimore, East Coast.
Like the Ravens, Baltimore?
Yeah. They have winter.
They do, don't they? Yeah, they do.
It's not as bad as some places. They get snow, they get cold.
Yeah, they do.
But apparently, former Ravens receiver Deontay Johnson was too cold to go into the game. Hopefully, the weather in Cleveland, which is where he plays now, will be more agreeable.
He went, what?
In a recent interview with the Sports and Suits podcast, Deontay Johnson confessed that he refused to enter a game for the Ravens last season because he was cold. He said, quote, end of the 3rd, going into the 4th, they were like, Tay, we need you. I was like, nah, I don't think it's a good idea for me. Like, my legs are already ice cold, and I don't want to go out there and put bad stuff on film.
Wait a minute. He refused to go out because he was cold and play football?
Didn't want to put bad stuff on film. Yeah.
Dude, it's your job, isn't it? That's your job, right? Am I wrong about that?
And they get paid well. I don't know what he was getting paid, but usually it's in the millions of dollars to go out and play football in the cold, in the rain, in the wind, in the snow.
Did you not know before you got picked or drafted or moved or whatever the thing was? Now, it was cold.
There are some kids that come out of college and get chosen by Green Bay or New England or whoever, Buffalo, right?
And they're unaware.
And they're like, this is the first time I've ever seen snow in my life. So it can be a bit of a culture shock. But this dude isn't a rookie and just didn't want to go in the game because it was too cold.
So, and am I right? He went from Baltimore to Cleveland to avoid the cold?
I don't know if he's avoiding the cold. He doesn't really have much of a say in the whole trade thing, but dude, it's not going to be much better in Cleveland.
Too cold to play. Huh, I get that.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Bad news, happy music later on. Office Cora hopefully will be able to join us this week. I know last week she had some scheduling issues and Wasn't able to get on the line with us, but hopefully we'll talk to her this week. Also got some 3 days grace in a bit, and Gene's hypothetical question for me on Hypothetical Thursday is coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Rockfest music from 3 days grace. That is Apologies. Got a text from Mike earlier while we were playing some Hollywood Undead. He said Linkin Park called. They want their stolen style back. Look, everybody takes a little piece of everybody from everybody else. Think of all the bands that have been influenced by Black Sabbath, by Metallica, by Iron Maiden, by Judas Priest, by Led Zeppelin. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Mm-hmm. There's, I mean, all the face painting bands, all that stuff. Prog rock, I mean, you could just, that's a list a mile long, dude.
But it's
heavily
nice
influenced.
That you hear that kind of similarity or that resemblance with
I would say you can hear it, but when you see it, it's different. I mean, they're wearing masks and they're more of a rap group than they are of a rock group. So, but I hear you, Mike. I hear you clucking big chicken. Donnie played some Static X earlier, got an open mic request for that from our app. Again, if you go to either app, whether it's 95.7 The Rock or 92.9 The X, and you open up the app, you'll see on the bottom there is a open mic section, and you can record messages for us right there through the app and send them to us.
That's like a voicemail. We'll get a voicemail from you. It'll be great.
And somebody earlier wanted to hear some Static X, and I did that. And Donnie said, Static X sounds like me when I stub my toe. Love the show, not making fun. I like them.
Also on the bottom there, on both those apps, as you were mentioned, 95.7 The Rock and 92.9 The X, there's the submit button there. So next to open mic is basically leaving us a voicemail. So if you want to hear something, you want to leave us a message, you want to communicate, you want to give us your hypothetical question, whatever, you can do that. Also, there's a submit for pictures or videos. So if you, for instance, had some wicked storm damage or some flooding or whatever, or you're out somewhere and something funny happens, I mean, we want to see those videos. We want to have you share. If you're at a awesome live music event and you're like, holy moly, send us a little video of it, whatever.
Yeah, you can do that right through the app, whether it's 95.7 The Rock or 92.9 The X. I actually got one from, this is about 7:30 this morning, so just a few minutes ago, actually. John, near Goose Island, family in the basement, and, of course, Midwestern Dad, me, out on the four-wheeler taking pics. And that's the picture.
Is that one of the one that was forming? Because I saw.
That's down by Goose, so yeah.
Yeah. We made comment last night when we were in our basement. We're like, ooh, I'm glad I'm not camping at Goose right now because it looked like it was really headed that direction and very dark and very
My wife's
scary.
parents live in Berry Mills, and we had heard reports YY, and so, yeah, it was treacherous there for a little while, and the siren's going off, and the wife immediately wanted to get down to the basement. And I was like, well, let's give it a minute here and see what we didn't even have a weather update. We just heard the sirens, but we ended up in the basement as well.
Well, if you have one, I mean, it's not that big a deal to go down some stairs and be safer. So I heard that there's a very small potential of a similar weather pattern developing tonight. I guess with these, strong winds, what should I say? The weak tornadoes and prolific are a possibility again tonight, along with that urban flooding and low-lying area flooding.
Yeah, looks like after 2 o'clock this afternoon is when the weather's going to roll through our area.
More like 4, 5, 6.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Hypothetical Thursday, my question for you earlier was, if you were to come with a warning label, what would that label be? And you basically said I have an idea. I have an idea.
Yeah.
Gene has
Fear
ideas.
The idea.
Fear the idea.
I was thinking about this.
Ideas.
Thinking about a thing. I was thinking about. Hey, I was thinking that.
I think my label would be responds immediately with anger.
Although I do have to say that if I didn't have the thinking and the ideas and stuff, it would be like
a much more chill, calm life.
No, I think
less stress.
Done or have interesting adventures. It's what.
Sure.
What?
Nothing.
Everything would just stay like.
That's fine.
It's not fine.
You don't always have to be in motion, okay? The earth is in motion for us. We don't always constantly have to be moving.
I know that.
You can take a break.
I do. I definitely do. I absolutely do.
Put your arms down, relax.
I do, absolutely.
Stop.
I don't always talk with my hands either.
Bro, you always.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I do not.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
It doesn't even require alcohol. It just, the kung fu starts
I do not. That was on purpose. I was doing that just to...
Uh-huh. All right. So
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I mean, I think I know the answer to this question. Because you get irritated by things, and I think I know that you couldn't stand one more than the other. But would you rather always and forever and always get stopped by red lights, or have slow internet issues?
Oh, red lights.
I knew you were gonna. Yeah, I thought that. But I also, you have an anger driving thing. So I was like, ooh, but what if it's like and you're like, God,
every red light,
for the rest of every time, everywhere, always you're traveling, you just
that would be absolutely.
I know,
100%
and you are
miserable.
like on edge when you're behind the wheel. So I was like,
I'm not on edge. I'm fine. I get angry because people are stupid.
So, but like God damn, it's red again, like every single time, forever and ever.
I think
and ever for the rest of your life.
If you knew it, you'd just deal with it, right? It's that when you're in a hurry and you're expecting some green lights along the way and you get nothing but red lights and you're sort of at your wit's end. But if you knew you were getting nothing but red lights forever, then you just accept your fate.
You could mentally prepare to have that be happening to you all the time?
Yeah. Slow internet, whatever. I grew up without the internet. I'll make it. I'll be fine.
Slow internet, though, is... and as much as stuff you're doing...
It's like when you go from 5G to 4G and you're like, you can't even look at anything. It's like, why even offer 4G? It doesn't even work. Why even have it? It literally does not work. Have you ever gone from 5G to 4G? Like when you get on the river or something, or you go to like some town that doesn't have any, and you're just like, why do they even offer it? Because it literally doesn't work. The only thing that works is 5G. I open up a something and I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden 4G, forget it. 4G's like...
I used to be amazing. I used to be on top.
3G was amazing.
Yes.
It took 10 minutes to download a picture, but you're like, hell yeah, I got a picture while I'm in a plane. It's awesome. Now it's like, if you don't have 5G or LTE or anything, it's like, forget it, bro.
Immediate frustration. So the internet would be worse than the red lights.
No. The red lights, that would be infuriating.
Yes. Well, both, I think.
But the internet, I could do without, whatever. Go back to...
You can't get yourself like a magic hotspot either. That's not what this works. So it's internet problems.
Go back to the Stone Age with no internet.
Right. With a rock.
Write letters.
Draw animals in a cave with a rock. Is what
Make sure you leave us a note if you're going out with your friends. There you go. I'll be back by 11. Yeah, I could easily do without it. It'd be fine. But the red light thing would be infuriating. Anytime you're trying to get somewhere, every single road you take.
Forever and all times.
You could also learn to drive around red lights, figure out
It depends
routes.
on where you live.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I could get, if I was at the mall, I could get to my house with minimal red lights by going out West Salem. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because there's hardly any out
Add
there.
longer to your drive to avoid the lights.
Oh, certainly, but avoiding that pause at every single red light from the mall area to my house on the south side would go a lot faster if I didn't have to hit any red lights just by going the long way home.
Mm-hmm. And obviously we have such rural communities where you could avoid that altogether if you lived and worked somewhere where there wasn't any of that. But if you're
you wouldn't be able to do the internet because you're so addicted to it. You need it. And your job.
It would drive me nuts. That's the problem.
I mean, I'd be
doing
a lot of this.
I'd be doing
I don't know why that became a thing. Like, who did that first, and why did we all it just became a part of our DNA. Like, we don't even know why we do it. Like, everyone bangs their mouse at some point. Why do we do that? Is it just because it's in your hand and it's like, God, why isn't the internet going faster?
You bang if you don't have one. If you're one of the operators that uses your pad,
I don't know how people work a computer without a mouse. I couldn't. I tried. It just wasn't.
All
a thing
my
for
people
me.
do. I don't know what they do when they're frustrated because I guess I've never seen it to where they go, okay, what's this?
Well, that's the. And again, why does that make us feel like the internet's going to speed up? Like we're.
I told you, I'm in a hurry.
Like the computer's going to be like, oh snap!
Universal.
He means business now. He's slamming that mouse 3 or 4 times. I better start working. Yeah. And
Pick up the pace here.
I would go with the red light thing just because driving in general just infuriates me because people are stupid. And then you add on to that the red lights everywhere you go. You're sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in this crap hole town that we live in where they can't figure out the red lights, what they're doing with them. You know what it's like.
Well, I'm counting down. You're counting down.
One time they're
7,
changing
8, 6.
as soon as you pull up. One time you're sitting there for 4 minutes and there's no traffic going through. And it's like, who designed this crap? Somebody with a thumb up their ass. Hypothetical Thursday. We'll see what Cora's got to say in just a bit. Office Cora going to join us just after 8 a.m. Right now, it's Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene and the one and only Office Cora joining us on the phone. Had a little kerfluffle last week with the scheduling, but we got it figured out this week. And Cora, I will not be talking about any of the stuff we were just talking about. I'm assuming you want that to remain private.
Thank you very much.
Is that correct?
Yes, we are. We'll
Okay.
not be discussing that.
I will just say...
What?
So that we're not confusing people. I ran into Cora, Office Cora, several times last weekend at Summer Jam.
Summer Jam!
In Eau Claire.
Yes, Summer Jam!
And, yes, and she was having a good time. Let's just say that.
Now she should be enjoying herself.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite at Summer Jam in terms of the artists? I saw you a couple of times, but I didn't know who you were there to see.
I really have always loved Rick Springfield.
I will say this. For a guy who's 75, he is, in great shape. Took his jacket off at the end, and the guy is yoked. I mean, he's out there flexing his pecs. They're bouncing up. They're doing the thing.
Like, blah, blah,
and
blah, blah, blah.
in true rock star fashion, you didn't see a lot of this because obviously it was very hot. The bands, I think, were just trying to, not
Maintain,
die.
get it through.
Not die on stage. And it was a light crowd, so there wasn't a ton of energy there all the time. He got out, he got off the stage, he walked all the way through the crowd, he went up into the cheap seats, up into the grass, he was singing the whole time while the song's playing. Rockstar 101, get into the crowd, get him to love you, and then he made his way back to the stage. It was awesome to see a 75-year-old guy be able to do that.
Right? He was incredible. I've loved him since he was on General Hospital back in the 80s. Dr. Noah Drake.
Have you ever called someone that you're intimate with Noah Drake in the midst of the passion, or is that not a slip of the tongue for Cora? That doesn't happen?
Well, I haven't done that yet, but I mean...
So were you at the golf tournament, Cora?
Yes, but only for like an hour.
Okay. How was it? It was fun, though? You had a good time?
Oh, it was so fun. And oh my gosh, I got to see Brian driving a golf cart for the first time. Wow, that would be like a ride at an amusement park. He was flying, like pedal to the metal, just flying around corners. I thought his wife was going to fly right out. She didn't. She's very strong. She hung on.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes. That's how I roll. That's my life in a nutshell right there with the American flag flapping behind me. I'm feeling no pain. We had a good time. It was a blast, and we look forward to doing it again. Big thanks again to the wonderful people at Princeton Valley. What a beautiful course they have. A little nine-hole business course. My wife and I were buying homes. We were virtually buying the homes on the golf course because there's several really nice places. I don't know if you made your way around the golf course, Cora, but there's several that are lined up around the edge of the golf course, and we were in our minds we were purchasing them and talking about the things we would be doing and the parties we'd be having. They had like the full gazebo with the TVs inside and the pool house. It was there was all that.
Wow.
So anyways, Hypothetical Thursday, Office Cora.
I think we just go with your question for her because that's going to be the most interesting answer.
My question for Gene earlier,
most interesting answer probably,
was if you came with a warning label, what would that warning label be?
Come on, Cora. You got to think for a minute.
Oh, my goodness.
If someone had
Probably do not add caffeine.
Too much caffeine gets you into a state of mind that you're not comfortable in, or?
I think I just talk a lot. It's just a lot of talking.
More than normal.
More than normal.
Which is definitely a lot.
Right. Don't do it.
Do not add caffeine. Much like don't feed the bears, right?
Yes.
And don't stick your fingers through
answer?
My warning label would be gets angry easily.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Gene's was something along the lines of
beware of
the I have an idea. Because Jean's the wife who has ideas and they turn into major projects.
Or I was thinking.
Jean can't calm down. See, her problem is she can't relax. She needs constant stress to
I'm calm right now.
Constant stress.
I'm calm right now. Let's take my resting blood pressure.
Yeah, that sounds like someone that's calm over there. Cora would her warning label would be don't add caffeine. Too much. Can you have any? Are you a coffee, soda at all? Anything?
Oh no, I always have a cup of coffee in the morning.
Okay, but just too many caffeinated beverages might be the death of you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just gonna. My mouth. I just get very talkative.
All right. And do you have any hypothetical questions for us?
Yes. If you had a personal mascot, what would it be?
A personal mascot.
Like to just go yay for you?
No, are you talking about someone in a costume, like a suit? You know, like a guy at the ballpark, you know, that follows you around and does cheers and stuff?
Yeah, I think like my personal mascot would be like a confused raccoon holding a coffee cup. The vibe is just accurate.
Okay.
Can I take Bucky Badger?
Yeah.
All right. I like the energy. Jump, jump, jump around. Let's go.
I like that
Let's
for
go.
you.
I don't know if I can whittle it down fast enough to make a decisive answer. Because the first one that I think of is the speedy guy at the ball games that runs real fast.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
You know, what do they call them? Frozone or whatever the hell that guy's name is, the freeze, whatever, and he lets people get a head start and then he beats the crap out of them. I love that.
I love that guy.
But I don't know if
The
that's
way I saw you run a golf cart, I get that.
But I don't know if that's what I'd want as a mascot. You know what I mean? He's his own thing. He's not a mascot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What about like a little evil leprechaun devil?
Smaller person.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What do you call them now? What can we call them? What's the official term?
Everybody understands what I mean. So
dwarf,
just maybe
little person?
it just end with like a shield.
I don't know about a shield. I'm not taking.
Come on, but that's cool.
I'm not taking enemy fire over here.
It's like in a wrestling singlet.
Ooh. Yeah, some sort of little person.
Yeah.
In a wrestling singlet.
I like that.
Yeah. I don't know who exactly. Maybe some kind of leprechaun. Pot of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that curses.
Rainbow.
Someone that curses.
Like
Someone that curses a lot.
How about the dog?
Spuds McKenzie?
No,
Triumph. Ooh, that's a good one. Triumph, the insult comic dog. I'm going with Triumph.
Do you know who that is, Cora?
Yes, that's awesome.
I'm taking that as my mascot. Good suggestion.
Okay, thanks.
Being mean and rude to people.
Yeah, it's just
and
walking around, just going around
right
with
in front
you
of
and
their
just
stupid faces.
saying things to people as they're near you and around you.
Yeah.
All right, I get
That's
it.
me.
All right.
Office Cora, what's happening this weekend in the 715?
Well, tonight, Friday and Saturday, I am heading out to Hoofbeat, previously known as Country Fest, the same grounds as Rock Fest. Tonight's headliner, Riley Green. Tomorrow, Lainey Wilson. Saturday, Brooks and Dunn, who I've never seen, so I'm excited to see them.
I know who Lainey Wilson is because she had a big butt and now she doesn't have a big butt. Who's the other one? Riley Green? What does she have a song that I might know?
It's a boy.
Oh. All right.
And
like I said, I don't know who Riley Green is.
Probably not going to know songs then, is my guess. Is it going to be yes?
Before Riley Green is Gretchen Wilson.
Hey, I know that. The bitch.
Yeah,
She does the bitch.
yeah.
I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm a mother.
We know that
I know
one.
who she is.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's focus on that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. So obviously, is it hoofbeat.com now or is it still countryfest.com? Can you go to hoofbeat.com?
Nope, it's hoofbeat.com now.
Is it completely sold out or can people still buy tickets and camping?
People can still buy tickets.
All right. Hoofbeat up there where Rockfest occurs in Cadott. And that's all this weekend. I saw some friends of mine are up there as well, dealing with some of the rain and the flooding that happens every year at music festivals.
Is country your favorite, or do you just like all kinds of music? Because you just talked about
like
Rick Springfield.
all kinds of music, but actually rock is my favorite.
Rock is your favorite?
Like, Rockfest is my all-time favorite because it's like my favorite music, plus it's the show. You have the pyrotechnics, you have the wardrobes, people dressed like monsters, all the stuff. It's just, it's just kind of magical.
Anything else happening this weekend, or are you spending the whole weekend over there at Hoofbeat?
I'm pretty much spending the whole weekend over there, and then I'm going hiking with my friend on Sunday. But Saturday and Sunday, the Chippewa Valley Air Show is coming to town. So the Blue Angels are actually starting to fly around already. They left Pensacola, Florida a couple hours ago.
We actually ran into and sat down and had dinner with a couple that live over by wherever they do the air show. There must be an airport or something, and they were telling us all about how their situation where they are is effed up because of this whole thing, and how they can't get in and out of their own neighborhood, and there's Secret Service people and all this crazy stuff going on, and he was not too pleased about it. So,
I could see that.
I was
never thought about that.
I said, but free show, you don't have to pay to get in, right? You get right there in your backyard. So,
yeah.
All right, so the
very loud, but free.
The air show and Hoofbeat this weekend in the 715.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, for more events that are happening, you can go to aroundthe715.com. While you're there, check out the best summer ever. There's prizes on there that you can register for, like a Gravely zero-turn mower. There's also tickets for Rockfest and Ashley for the Arts in Arcadia and all sorts of stuff at aroundthe715.com. Thank you, Office Corps. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right. I hope your back isn't too scratchy this weekend. I don't know if anybody will be there to itch it for you.
Just going hiking with a friend on Saturdays. I know, hiking, nature.
A lot of back touching going on the mountain.
Nature.
Out in
Having nature.
Au naturel back touching.
Yeah. Out in the elements. Wear sunscreen and bug spray.
Yeah.
Keep safe.
Maybe have someone apply the bug screen and sunspray to your back.
And just keep safe is all I'm saying, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
Bye, Cora.
Office Corps, each and every Thursday, joining us just after 8 o'clock to let us know what she's up to in the 715 this weekend.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, It is a big one. Thank you, Office Corps.
It's anonymous, it's fast, and it's free.
That's exactly how I like it, Gene. Anonymous, fast, and free.
Those two big ones.
I also like two big ones. She knows what I like. What can I say? At Office Corps. We got bad news, happy music coming up in just a bit. So don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril. Now that's just nasty. Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man. Florida man. Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
You ready?
Doubt it.
All right, here we go. Bad news, happy music. A 64-year-old Chinese man finds a toothbrush that he swallowed at age 12 stuck in his intestine.
Had he been complaining about pain and stuff for years and nobody was listening to him?
How many years is that? 52? 52 years this guy had a toothbrush in his body. Just wandering around. Finally making its way into his intestine where it got stuck. Doctors took about 80 minutes to remove the toothbrush from inside the man who thought the foreign object would eventually dissolve by itself.
Is this real life?
Wait, he was aware that he swallowed a whole toothbrush, you said?
64-year-old Chinese man felt a strange sensation in his stomach and went to the doctor, was shocked to discover that a toothbrush had been stuck in his intestine for 52 years. The man said he remembered swallowing it at the age of 12.
What?
Look, I get it. Kids put things in their mouths. I swallowed marbles when I was a kid playing with Legos. I mean, it happens, right? You're 12, though.
You swallowed a whole toothbrush?
How do you swallow a whole toothbrush at age 12?
I remembered swallowing a toothbrush. Yeah, because it was horrific. And one of the most horrific things that ever happened to me.
Which way do you swallow a toothbrush? Bristles first?
Down.
Or butt end first? Which one?
Maybe, was it a mini toothbrush? Like maybe it was like
one
a
of those
travel one, those
travel
little tiny things.
Says he remembered swallowing it at the age of 12, was too scared to tell his parents about it, thought the toothbrush would eventually dissolve on its own, had not felt anything
Well, I get
Until
that.
recently.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's just afraid and dumb and a kid, and then he thinks, well, my stomach juices will take care of it.
17 centimeters. How long is 17 centimeters?
A toothbrush length.
Yeah, it's a
Average
regular ass
toothbrush.
It ain't no mini travel case toothbrush, Gene. It's a regular ass toothbrush. By the way, there's pictures of it on the internet.
So it doesn't dissolve at all in 50 years in your gut?
Well, I think the bristles got a little. There's some
goo.
If you want to look at,
no, I'm not going to look. But I'm assuming the handle's the same.
If you want to look at the pictures, Gene, they're on the internet.
I'm good.
Was fortunate that the brush was lodged in a crook of the intestine and had barely moved for decades. Doctor said that under normal circumstances, a toothbrush in the intestines could rotate, press, puncture the inner tissue, cause intestinal perforation, and could be fatal. This guy, however, got away with it for 52 years. This is in Silver Creek, Minnesota.
Okay, tell me.
A man who authorities believe was under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms during a crash that seriously injured a construction worker has now been charged with several felonies. Now, when you hear me tell you his name, you'll understand why they thought that this guy was under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms. Patches Magic Beans.
Was Patches.
As in, like, Patches O'Houlihan from Dodgeball.
Or like
eye patches. I don't have one. I have multiple eye patches.
Patches.
I have several wounds on my body. I need multiple patches. Last name, Magic Beans. Magick Beans. Magic Beans. Patrick Magic Beans.
What's that bubble there? What do you think? Well, how the hell did you get the beans above the fry? I mean...
By the way, not from Minnesota, from Heartland, Wisconsin. He's one of ours.
Okay.
Charged with 2 counts of criminal vehicular operation, 1 count of controlled substance crime in the second degree. Was heading north on Highway 61 on June 19th when the crash happened. According to the documents, an off-duty police officer had been driving behind Magic Beans right before the crash. Authorities said that the van he was driving swerved and was weaving all over the road.
Yeah.
Then the officers said that the van hit a curb, several traffic cones under the tunnel, hit a scissor lift. After that, the van hit a tunnel wall and rolled multiple times until stopped.
He really hit a bunch of things, didn't he?
Benjamin Kidd of Duluth, Minnesota, was one of the construction workers that was on the scissor lift working on a light above him.
Got hit?
Taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
Oh, my gosh.
Kidd is still hospitalized. Here we are over a week later with critical injuries.
It's not funny.
Another construction worker was also on the scissor lift. He told authorities that when he heard the sound of a vehicle hitting the construction cones, he looked and saw the van heading really fast in their direction. That's when he grabbed onto the rail system and pulled himself up and tucked his knees to his chest, hanging onto the light fixture until law enforcement was able to help him get down. So this dude did some Keanu Reeves Matrix stuff up there to save his life. This other guy didn't see it coming and suffered the brunt of it and is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, Magic Beans is in big, big trouble. Authorities also say that Magic Beans was saying things that did not make sense, appeared to be engaging with things in the air that were not actually there. His eyes were blown, and he became combative with the rescue workers as they tried to remove him from his vehicle. And this guy now is in big trouble. Patches Magic Beans.
Big trouble. That's horrific for those construction workers.
Yeah.
That's horrific. I thought it was maybe after hours or something, and there wasn't anybody there on site to be injured, but no. It's awful.
Apparently, people from the 80s are holding on to cans of Ecto Cooler.
Like they have it as a collectible, and now it's worth a lot of money?
Well, maybe they thought it would be worth a lot of money. But there are several new Ghostbusters films harkening back to the originals. A lot of people have nostalgia, holding on to things, including High Seas Ecto Cooler, marketed to kids as if it was Slimer's secretions. You're drinking Slimer. It was actually a citrus cooler with a Ghostbusters logo slapped onto it. And now officials are warning that the cans of Ecto Cooler that you may have purchased many years ago could be exploding. Fans have been hoarding the 2016 line of Ecto coolers, selling them on eBay. Unfortunately, all the drinks are expired at this point in terms of their ability to be drunk, but the host of Extra Plasm Podcast, the Extra Plasm Podcast, recently discovered that all of his unopened cans were showing signs of internal pressure buildup, becoming noticeably harder to squeeze, meaning that they may eventually burst on their own. So people are warning collectors of Ecto Cooler from 2016 to throw them away or open them safely to release some of the pressure that's in there.
All right. Open, pour out liquid, keep can. Is that...
Or risk it. See what happens. This is in Wood County, Ohio. A woman says she lost internet and cable service for over a week due to...
a mole. Like a diggy.
Nope.
A sunspot.
Lost internet and cable service for over a week because of not a sunspot, not a mole, not any kind of animal. Well, actually, that's not true. Sort of an animal.
Snake?
No, not snake.
An insect?
Human. With a shotgun.
We couldn't get the TV to start, and I have an app on my phone, and it said we were in an outage. I'm not making this up. Reason that you're having problems is because someone shot up our main power line with a shotgun. It's not okay to lose service 4 or 5 days in a row. I mean, it's not okay. You need to figure out what this is and get... And I said, well, why didn't somebody tell me that this is what was going on?
A line of cable going through a heavily wooded area was recently impacted by several shotgun blasts. Our teams responded quickly by placing a temporary cable where they could until the full replacement cable could be requested and installed. The company there, Spectrum, did not provide an exact time or location for the damage, said the issue appeared to be isolated to one customer.
So did this guy, not like the internet and stuff, Big Brother watching him? Was he, paranoid like that and wanted to take out the government's ability to be omnipresent?
Maybe. One of those things. One of those I don't want to be on the grid things.
Yep.
But yeah, lost her internet and cable for several days because somebody was out there shooting up the joint.
Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like.
No internet.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
Well, none of the things.
No internets. Here's a guy in Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Who decided to rob a Quick Stop. No relation to Quick Trip. Early Sunday morning, wearing his finest Scooby-Doo costume. Suspect dressed in a Scooby-Doo suit.
So he was the dog, the Scooby-Doo, not one of the other characters.
Breaking into the Quick Stop early Sunday morning. Officers responded to the scene after the store's security alarm was triggered at 3:45 a.m. The burglar made off with cash and coins, left the snacks untouched. No Scooby snacks.
No snacks?
For this Scooby-Doo.
Just the cash?
The suspect, described as a white male, about 5'9" tall. Unfortunately, it's one of those pajama things that look like Scooby.
Oh, I know what you're saying. So it was a zip-up thing, and it's got just a hood.
But he doesn't have the hood up. He's got a green winter hat with the eye hole and the mouth hole cut out, as opposed to going full Scooby-Doo.
Scooby.
Yeah. Authorities there urging anyone with information to call the police.
Somebody.
Yeah. Let him know what you know. But this guy wearing gloves, his Scooby-Doo outfit, and stealing cash and coins, but leaving the Scooby snacks alone.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Yes, rut-row raggy. Last but not least, there's a police officer in the UK might lose his job after he asked a female coworker to pull his finger.
Oh, jeez. Pull my finger and then I'm going to fart?
I fart in your general direction.
Then he apparently farted in her face. I don't know.
Where was
the finger? Where was the face? How was the butt up that high? What are the
sitting in a chair.
What's the geometry here?
If she's sitting.
Was he hey, come over here and pull my finger?
But see what I'm saying here? If you walked up to somebody who was sitting at their desk and you said pull, and then you turned, then
he's dealing with a disciplinary review to decide if he should be fired
right in your face
for this incident or not. The coworker says she knew what he was planning to do when he asked her to pull his finger, so she told him to go away. But then
Go away.
But then he spun around, stood on his toes, farted in her face from less than 6 inches away, and laughed. Well, that guy's got moves. He's got all that while he's holding a fart in. He spun around,
like this.
Stood on his toes, and his butt was so close to her face, wherever she was.
Yes, in her chair. She's
That
probably
he was
sitting.
only 6 inches away from her, and then farted on her and
What
laughed.
is this guy's problem?
If the review board decides that it qualifies as gross misconduct, he will lose his job. This apparently happened way back in 2021, and it's still being dragged through this disciplinary thing.
He needs to borrow a nephew or something. You know what I mean? Like a kid. If he wants to pull my finger trick, he needs like a 6-year-old kid. Nephew or
He fully accepts his
friend's
attempt
kid
at
or
humor was
something.
misplaced and inappropriate in a modern policing workforce.
Dude, you think so? You think so? To a female coworker at a workplace?
Apparently, he's also accused of making inappropriate and discourteous comments.
Dude, who does pull my finger to a
that's-
grown-ass woman as a coworker?
That's not a thing nowadays, is it? Do people even do it to kids
No,
anymore,
but
other
if
than
you
maybe the
know-
occasional grandpa?
Right. No.
That's a grandpa with a little kid thing. That's not a police officer thing.
That's not a at work with your adult coworker, female coworkers thing. No, it's not.
It's not. I agree. I don't know.
I recognize that was bad behavior at the office place. Jim, we got to talk about office stuff with you, man. What is your deal?
Bad
You
news.
do not know the rules.
Happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to our daily check-ins next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website. You can find all of our contact info there as well. Listen to the show live. Daily podcast. Give it a like and subscribe. All sorts of stuff. Also, don't forget that if you download either the 95.7 The Rock app or the 92.9 The X app,
Yeah, this is cool. Then we want to hear from you. We can talk.
there are several ways for you to get in touch with us through the app. You can record a voicemail, essentially, with the open mic portion. That's right on the homepage down at the bottom. Also at the bottom, there is a submit button where you can submit pictures and videos and let us know what happened in your backyard if you got some storm
Yes, please.
weather yesterday. We got a couple of open mic voicemails this morning. The first one came at about 6:30.
Can you play Static X for me to get the day going, please? Thank you.
I did, in fact, play Static X for whoever that is. I hope it got the day going.
So on the app, 95.7 The Rock app that you can download, obviously, if you already have it, or 92.9 The X app, on the bottom, there's an open mic, and basically that's leaving us a voicemail. So we'll get that anytime, and you can request a song or give us feedback or be part of things. Hypothetical Thursday, you could certainly be part of the program or, let us know what you're doing. There's also a place to submit pictures or videos. So if you've got something cool, you've got some storm damage, not necessarily cool, but, wind damage, flooding or whatever, or you're out doing something fun, or you see somebody that's
See a
cool
moose,
to see
a bear,
all that stuff. Let us know.
wombat.
Well, is this because
Armadillo.
you just saw a wombat or there was a wombat?
Wallaby.
A wallaby.
Not a wombat. Also got this one.
Don't caffeinate Cora.
I
Good call.
wouldn't.
Good call. Office Corps. A lot of messages, text messages this morning as well. Got one from Nikki. Is there a memory of Gene telling you to lighten up, Francis, and then you dropping the F-bomb? Priceless. We do have, I don't know if this is it, but I'm going to play it and see if it is.
Stick around. More of the best stuff from the Morning Sickness is coming up.
Why does that fall into my category?
It doesn't. I'm just f***ing with you. You got to lighten up, Francis.
On 95.7, The Rock.
How does she remember? That's such a good memory.
That was a long time ago.
Wow, thanks for sharing that.
That occurred in a room that's no longer that room anymore. It was the Prod studio.
Yeah. What were you bitching about?
I told you I'd get angry right away.
What was it? Lighten up, Francis. That's good memory, though.
Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki.
I told her I would play it in a bit, and she said, can't wait. So, Mike said Lincoln Park called. They want their stolen style back in reference to Hollywood Undead. Ned texted in and said, how about the toadies in honor of the ring? That wedding ring was found in some kind of Toadies Possum Kingdom Park?
Possum Lake, Possum something. Yeah. Amazing, though, by a diver who spent 2 days looking for it.
Donnie texting in about the Static X said, it sounds like me when I stub my toe. Love the show, not making fun. I like them. I do too, but I got you. There's a little bit gibberish there. Jim said, he texted in, maybe I can get the U-Haul pack today. Dang rain. I asked him if he was actually moving to Georgia, and he said, yes, sir. Going to Perry, Georgia, right down by Macon. So our friend Jim, who just retired from the military, is moving back to his home state of Georgia. And best of luck on your move. Thank you very much for all the correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.